Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. I have not posted in, I think, almost 10 days. I feel so out of touch and I'm so excited to be back to connect with all of you today and share with you some of my adventures from my recent trip to Europe. So I was in the Netherlands to teach a workshop at a fountain pen show in Utrecht outside of Amsterdam. So while I was there, we explored the Netherlands, and then my husband had work in London and we took the Eurostar train to London after the pen show. So today I'm going to show you some of the vintage shops that I stopped in the Netherlands and in London, of course. When we were in Amsterdam, I would always Google thrift stores near me, charity shops near me, vintage shops near me. That's always how I locate some places. I was fortunate enough, however, to hit some really cool shops. So I'm going to share those with you today. And then if you want to stay tuned to the very end, I'm going to share with you the stuff that I did not thrift, but that I purchased, which included something from Mulberry, another package from Mulberry, which is supposed to be coming today, so hopefully I will insert that. One of the things that I bought at Lululemon could be my favorite pair of pants that I've ever owned from Lululemon, which is saying a lot, so I can't wait to share those with you. We spent a full day at Harrods. I will put some timestamps below so you can jump around the video. If you like videos about thrifting, I take you with me on all of my adventures in thrifting and in reselling. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you have a good time. I'll see you soon. All right, we made it to our first thrift store. It's called Episode. Let's check it out. There was no way I was going to cut Jay's moves out of this video. They had some cool music in store, which we obviously had to turn down for copyright purposes. I hope you'll enjoy my epidemic sound music. So this store was highly curated. It was a lot of fun. They had things really organized. This looked like something Jack Tripper would have worn on Three's Company, and I loved it. All of these vintage shops had an enormous amount of Levi's jeans for sale. These were averaging about $35. I loved these little towers of Converse and Vans. They had these in abundance in every shop as well. This I got a kick out of because White Stag, I believe, is an old label at Walmart. And they had all of these Birkenstocks just stacked on top, and they were $25 each. This is probably the one thing that I probably could have made a profit on. I ran these comps once I got home, but they were pretty promising for like that terry cloth vintage dress. Jay didn't last too long in the store after his little jig. We are heading over to the next shop, which is just a few doors down. Netherlands because they did it by the weight, and I thought that was really fascinating. So they had all of those different colored tags. My theory is that the colored tags also correspond with when the item came in the store. So kind of like here in the States where certain colors at Goodwill or Savers can be a discounted price. I think that depending on what color tag was on these garments, that was what you were charged. So the longer it had been in the store, the lower the price was. So I thought it was a great deal to be able to get that linen Max Mara dress. I think because this is much more of a style-based shop, the name brand wasn't quite as important, and I think that had been around for a while. So I was excited to get the Max Mara dress for such a great price. It did smell very vintagey, as Tina and I like to say, so I did put it through the wash, and of course it definitely needs to be steamed. It has this kind of draping piece of the fabric right in front that has like a fringe hem, which I think is really interesting. So it was made in Italy. It is on the longer length, so I would say that it hits just around my calf area. I'm trying to see if there's a size. I would say that this is like a medium to large. It was really interesting in the store that they had a whole section dedicated to linen, dedicated to silk and leather. The store was really nicely organized, and I thought it was so cool how they had it structured. So my husband picked this shirt up on the other side of the store. They had this one street in Amsterdam that just had a variety of vintage shops. It was kind of like the vintage shopping area. But you know me, I love going to thrift stores. Sometimes these curated vintage shops, they've already done a lot of the work, which is why they charge a little bit more. I think this top was under 20 euros also. So in Europe and in the Netherlands, you pay by euro, but then when you go over to London, their currency is the pound. I had all of this cash left over from the Netherlands that I couldn't use in London, so that was a little bit frustrating, but this is just a cool vintage shirt that Jay got. I've never heard of this brand. Let me know if you've heard of Jimmy Free. I believe this was also made in Italy. Kind of a little retro vibe for sure on this. Very like a dad shirt, I think. I actually think Rocco would really like this shirt as well. He loves his dad clothes. Yeah, the tag is totally, you can't see. Why did I think this was made in Italy? Oh, because it says made in Italy on the back. I'm like, I know I saw that this was also made in Italy, like the Max Mara. The next shop that I'm gonna share with you was in London. We had set out on this long journey of a day. We woke up early. We took the tube to this area. We were heading to Harrods, so that was our main goal. There was also this beautiful stationery shop that I was on the quest to find for my other channel called Choosing Keeping. I'll have a recap of everything that I bought at the Dutch Pen Show and the stationery that I purchased on my Time with Tata channel. But we did go to this one beautiful shop called Choosing Keeping. Then we went to Harrods, and then we saw a play that was only running in London for Stranger Things. It's supposed to be the prequel to the very first episode. If you're a Stranger Things person, it's about Henry from season 4 and kind of how everything started. It takes place in 1959 and it's only running in London, so Jay got tickets and it was just phenomenal. So we started our day at like 9 a.m. and then we didn't get back to our hotel room until after 11 o'clock after the show. So it was a very full day. The vintage shop that we went to, we found first thing in the morning. We stumbled upon it and everything in the store was under 13 pounds. The entire store, I think it was like 12.98 pounds. So I thought that maybe I would hit it on my way back, but then we just kept going in the opposite direction. I wanted to come back and buy some stuff, but I didn't go back. And then we went to the show and we went out to dinner and we went to Harrods and the whole day just got away from us. But it was a really cool shop and I did get some good footage. So I'll share that with you right here.
Not flake.
Number 53.
It's a no for me.
Number 40. All right, naughty.
The inventory at this shop was abundant. The racks were packed. There were bins with purses. It was 2 levels. I thought that this little section that had all vintage Disney sweatshirts was really cool.
So as always, I love finding vintage shops and thrift stores during my travels. I give myself about a C- on my sense of adventure for this particular trip because I stayed close to the hotel. I think I was focused so much on the workshop that I was teaching. By the way, I was teaching a journaling workshop and using fountain pen inks, which are basically watercolor in your journal. I am a teacher by trade, but I haven't taught in over 20 years, so it was really nice to be in a classroom setting in the Netherlands and be doing something that was so creative. It just like fed my soul. It was so nice. And I think that this trip ended up just being much more about that experience and the stationery and the people that I met and the pens that I bought. And then my thrifting, I had fun with, but usually when I go on these adventures, thrifting is my main focus. I think at one point I just decided I was going to make it more of a vacation, which is why I haven't posted in so long. I had intentions of posting when I was out there, but I still had a great time. The next time I go to Europe, however, I'm going to be more focused on finding what they call the charity shops. If you remember when I went to Japan last August, I did find an actual Salvation Army by chance. It was such an adventure to get there. It was only open on Saturdays. We happened to be there when it was open. We had to take trains and walk in the 96-degree heat, but it was such an adventure and I found such great things. In fact, one of the kimonos, one of the traditional authentic kimonos that I purchased from that Japan trip actually sold this morning on eBay for $80 and I paid $7 for it. I'll pop a picture up here for you to see. So that felt very authentic from like the thrift store point of view. I did also go into more curated shops in Japan, which were cool, but I did not get those in London. Can you tell I'm a little regretful? However, I did get to Harrods and that was such an experience. So back in 2007, my husband made partner at the company that he is still with, and we went to London. And it was our first really big trip. We had young children back at home. We were on a very strict budget. And the only place that I shopped when I went the first time was Marks and Spencer, which I think is like a Macy's or like a Kohl's equivalent. And I remember taking a tour and driving by Harrods and wanting so badly to just see what Harrods was all about. At the time, the dollar was really, really weak. So anything that I bought, it was almost double in price. In sharp contrast to Japan, the dollar was so strong. Everything I bought in Japan was a bargain. In the UK, the dollar isn't quite as strong, but it wasn't as weak as it was when I went in 2007. So it was about 25% more. For your bargain hunter here, it was a struggle. But one of the things I really did want to do was to go into Harrods and I wanted to get a Mulberry handbag. I had budgeted for it. I've kind of let go of some of the really super luxury brands like Chanel and even Louis Vuitton to a certain extent. Their prices have just skyrocketed since the pandemic. And if you follow any of the luxury handbag content creators, a lot of people are just like over these astronomically priced handbags, including myself. I was really in it for a while during the pandemic. I think a lot of people were. They've reached the point where they are so incredibly overpriced. You're paying thousands of dollars for a label. And I love good brands, so it's not that I'm opposed to that. But Mulberry is a British-based company, and everything I see of theirs just looks incredibly high quality. So I went into Harrods knowing I wanted to get the full experience. I wasn't buying secondhand, so I knew... I wasn't buying secondhand, so I knew that I was going to be spending more money. I happened to connect with the most incredible sales associate. I ended up buying the Zip Bayswater mini handbag in the color oak. Just beautiful. I wasn't sure what color I was going for. I was between the mini and the small of this particular bag. And really, it should be like medium and small because the small is actually a pretty big bag. And you'll see in the video when we compared them side by side, there was just something so cute about the smaller one. And it also had a crossbody strap. The small, which was the larger of the two bags, had a shoulder strap, but I like to be hands-free when I shop. So I was leaning towards the mini and it was just so damn cute. So that's what I ended up getting. It's supposed to be delivered today. But while I was there, I asked my sales associate about a notebook cover. And this happened to be on super clearance. This leather case was only $35. It was over $100 normally. and I just thought that was a really good deal. So he ended up picking it up from a different store, having it shipped from a different store. So we went back to Harrods the next day to pick it up. But this is in oak, and this is the leather, the same color leather. It's a little bit of a different texture. The handbags that I bought were pebbled leather, and this seems a little more spread out, but it's really beautiful. And then I just had this notebook that I bought in Japan, actually, this little Hobonichi notebook that goes inside. And then this flap back here just houses the, here, why don't we put it together? Have you ever been to Harrods? Whatever I expected, it exceeded my expectations on every level. They have this huge market on the base floor with the most beautiful pastries. They have cuts of meat that are beautiful, like everything. Their tea section, there's a cafe. Oh, we went to afternoon tea at Harrods later in the day. We booked it while we were there. I think it was like 3 o'clock. So we had the whole afternoon tea experience, which was just wonderful. It was such a treat. It was so much fun. I ended up getting this hoodie there. It was on sale. They had a Lululemon section in the store. This is a cropped sweatshirt, which is really not my style. So I'm a little out of my comfort zone on this, but it was a decent sale. So I grabbed it. I'm gonna talk about the pants that I got also. But this is the notebook that I picked up for $35. And I can't say enough about the customer service at Mulberry and the quality of their pieces.
Nice.
So
I can do this for you,
Okay.
and you can see like better. Do you want me to open here?
I would love to see the clasp on that too. I'm going between these two, but I think I'm going for the larger one, even though that one is so damn cute. This is the small size, and this is the mini. And these gentlemen have been so helpful here. Which one do you like better? It's the small. He likes the small one. All right. We're going back and forth. Okay. Also, when we went for afternoon tea, you could pick different teas, obviously, and I went with the traditional afternoon Ceylon. When we were at the airport, they had a Harrods store, and I went in and bought a box of this tea because it was just so good, and it was a fun memory. It was 11 pounds for 100 tea bags. I didn't think that was so bad. And then I just got this cute little Harrods pouch at the airport too, because when I was at Harrods, I ended up picking up this lip gloss from Dior. I had purchased this one a long time ago in Boston, and I was just about out of this. So I wanted to go back. This was 32 pounds in London. This is a little bit more of a cinnamon color, which I wanted something a little bit deeper. The top one is more of a nude, and it's also a little bit thicker. This bottom one is a lighter lip gloss, and it definitely has a deeper color. This is like a little bit minty too. This is just lighter in general. It's light enough that it's not like the super bright color, but sometimes I just want a little more on my lips. So I love this. I picked this up, and then I thought that would be cute to just have a little Harrods little zip up for my purse, because Harrods was a big part of our experience between the tea and the handbag. And then we went back on a second day to get this once it got shipped to the store. Also, you guys know I'm into fountain pens. They had this huge section for just Mont Blanc pens. They had a Monte Grappa section. They had Moleskine, which is a brand out of Italy known for their notebooks, and they had these beautiful notebooks there. Jay just texted me. I lost my train of thought. I forget what I was saying. I can't say enough about Harrods. It was a really fun experience. It was not kind to my wallet, but it was worth it. Hey everybody, this is Richard. He was my SA today. He's taking good care of me here at Mulberry. Kismet. Oh, beautiful. Everyone's been so lovely here. So it's shipping out to me, and you're going to let me know about the agenda.
I am indeed, which will get, hopefully try and get you a brand new one, Laurie, of course.
Fantastic. We have water and something to drink.
Of course, an English sparkling wine to celebrate your new Mulberry bag.
Fantastic. Thank you. Oh, and then I forgot to say that the day after I bought the Bayswater zip, and I got a little wallet to match it, the day after they announced their big summer sale, and there was this one bag. It was called the Iris, and it was in black. I was eyeing it the day before, and literally when it went on sale, it was like something like 60% off. So I called my sales associate, and I'm like, by chance, is this available? And he said, why, yes, it is. So I have a second bag coming in the mail, which I'm going to put off. My birthday's in July. My anniversary is at the end of this month. So I'm considering that second bag that was totally unnecessary, but a really good deal, relatively speaking, to the normal price of this bag. I'm gonna consider that a birthday / anniversary gift. So that won't be in the mail today, but I went all in on Mulberry. What I did want to talk about were these phenomenal pants that I bought at Lululemon in London. We stayed at Canary Wharf. I was literally running out of clothes and I thought, I just want a nice pair of black trouser pants. What happened when I was in London is you get there and you're thinking you're on vacation, but you're in London. It's a metropolitan area, much like when I traveled to New York City. You're not seeing a lot of bright colors. Everybody's wearing like black pants and trainers, as they call them, but not like summery clothing. And I had my Birkenstocks, and when we were in the Netherlands, I saw one other person in all of my travels in the Netherlands who had open-toe shoes. I couldn't believe it. It was colder in the Netherlands, but I really thought there would be something that felt a little bit like June, like summery. I was actually embarrassed that I was wearing Birkenstocks because nobody was wearing open-toe shoes. I felt a little out of place, and I'm like, I just want to feel like I belong in the city. So I bought these black trouser pants from Lululemon. These were not inexpensive either. They are $148 on the Lululemon website. They're called the Smooth Fit Pull-On High-Rise Pants. And oh my goodness, they are super stretchy. You can wear them with sneakers. You can wear them with Birkenstocks if you want, or you can dress them up a bit. They have this zip right here, which I could do without, but I suppose if I was out and about and I just wanted to put like a credit card in one of these pockets, it does zip. The transformative thing about these pants that I've never experienced before is they have this panel on the inside hem. So I don't know if you can see it really good from here, but there's this panel, that's the pocket, that holds you in. They pull on, so they look like dress pants. Almost looks like there would be a zipper underneath, but there isn't. That's really just for show. But they have this panel on the inside. I think my Spanx are like this too. And this just holds you in, and it does. It just smooths everything in the right place. And these are so incredibly comfortable. And I feel like you can dress them up or down. Because I work from home, I'm constantly in leggings and yoga pants. I'm in yoga pants right now. And I also love to wear black on the bottom. But when I was in London, I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm in yoga pants walking around this beautiful city. So I wanted something that was a little bit more elevated, and these fit the bill. All I can say is that they fit so phenomenal in all the right places. They also had a cropped version, which kind of came above your ankle, which I also liked. They only had those in a 14, and they had these in a 12. If I'm buying jeans, I'm more like a size 14, but I tend to size down with Lululemon. So I really wanted the 12. They just fit me better. I thought they looked better in my legs, and I wanted the longer length. I actually think I will wear these so much that what I paid was totally worth it. 10 out of 10, I can't rave about them enough. And I recently picked up this scuba hoodie in the chocolate brown oversized with the quarter zip. That was on sale over there too. I really wanted to get another color of that longer length, but this was what they had on sale, and I really liked this bone color. And I'm trying to not wear everything so long all the time. So what I did with this is I just put like a longer t-shirt underneath it, so that kind of covers my tummy, but then I can leave this open. I'm not completely comfortable with this, but I also think this would look really cute with some high-waisted jeans as well. But the pants, oh my gosh, the pants. I will leave links below. Smooth fit pull-on high-rise pants. They have all of the colors available in every size from size 0 to 20. So they're very size inclusive at Lululemon now. Check them out. They also have them in regular length and tall. I don't think this will be my last pair of these smooth pants. It's so nice to have kind of a dress pant that is so comfortable that pulls up with no zippers at the waist. So awesome. So if DHL comes at any point today and my Mulberry bags come in, I will share those with you in this video. If not, you can check out Time with Tata in a few days. I'm gonna do a full review over on that channel of the Mulberry purchases that I made. It finally arrived, and it is absolutely beautiful. I haven't even peeled off the little plastic here. Isn't this gorgeous? So this actually is pretty different when I'm looking at them together, but still a deal. I don't regret getting this, but I thought it might match a little bit better. I love the size of this little wallet. I haven't really been enjoying carrying a very large wallet, and this one is just great because it's like accordion style, so I can fit a couple cards in there, and basically just a spot for receipts and gift cards and things like that. And I love the little twist lock right there. So I definitely will eventually get the agenda that goes with this. It's amazing what actually fits in here. You wouldn't think that it's too big, but I was concerned about like a journal fitting in there, a wallet, and I still have plenty of space. This little pouch that I was traveling with, that fits in there. It really has a lot. And then I attached the strap here. So there's a hook right here and here. It's a zip top, which I love. And then the adjustable strap. I think it's just beautiful. I love the size of it. And I am so happy that I went with the mini instead of the small. And I do think that the iris bag that I'm getting is much larger. Also came with a beautiful Mulberry bag in a Harrods box, and it arrived so quickly. So that is my little Mulberry treasure. Since I was there for pens, I might as well show you two of the pens that I bought. This was a Dutch pen show exclusive by an Italian brand called Leonardo. This fountain pen is called Sugar Rush. That was the theme of the Dutch pen show. This has a 14 karat gold stub nib with an ebonite feed, and it's just beautiful. It has a really nice ink window. This was my splurge at the pen show. Then there was also a man who I met who was from Israel who used dried flowers and things in nature and put them in the resin of his pen, and I just thought this was so beautiful. He made this specifically for the show as well. He had a whole line of pens that were inspired by Van Gogh paintings, and because Van Gogh is from the Netherlands, I thought it appropriate to grab this pen, and I just absolutely love this pen. And there was one other pen from a brand called Scribo that is in a different room. And then just to show you some of the samples from the workshop I taught, I did these sketches before the pen show, and I used a permanent ink to draw the sketches out, and then I used fountain pen ink to paint the inside. So that was like a little cafe one that I did. I also did this really pretty flower using like different shades of pink. And so the people who came to my show, they got a pen, they got ink to use, they got a pencil, and we just did some sketches, and then they were able to paint. It was really fun getting to know people. And because the Netherlands is known for their tulips, I did a tulip as one of my samples. So I had some samples. People could trace the samples that I did, but most people just kind of did their own thing. They pulled up pictures on their phone for inspiration and they painted, and it was just this creative, fun thing. So that is my recap from London and the Netherlands. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've ever done thrifting while you were in Europe. What I missed. I know I missed a ton of good places. I promise when I go back, I will do more traditional thrift shopping, but I have to say Harrods was really fun. So this week I am going to Savers. There'll be a Savers haul that's coming out. And also I do have a Slow Fashion Friday video for you, or a declutter video that I'm doing. My son Anthony is starting a new job in a couple weeks. So he came home from New York to be with us for a little while. So we are going through his childhood room, going through every drawer, all of his clothes, all of his like memories and pictures and things like that from when he was younger. He's now 25, so it's sad, but it's time to clean out his room and so many of the things I didn't want to do without him. I did a makeover in his room a while ago when I turned it into like my office for my pens and stationery, but I haven't like gone through the drawers. I already have 6 bags in my trunk to bring to Savers. I have another pile that I'm going to haul and share with you of things that I'm going to sell. And then we still are going through the drawers, but that will be a little declutter video coming your way too. So I'm happy to be back. I miss you guys so much. I hope you're having a great start to June, and I'll be back soon with a new video. Love you guys. Bye.